No. Tell us secrets, Pat.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Our interview with Per Arne in Larvik, Norway, and after.
All right, so now we have to talk to the heat of the sun.
Okay,
Oh, it's on?
To abuse it, I'm just going to block your name.
Right, yes. Right.
That's
And
all.
I said your name. You always let
Candy,
me say your name. I'm
I
sorry.
do. No, it's
I
fine.
just usually don't do
No.
that.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Candy Thompson and Garrett Gray. So you guys, today's a very exciting day because we get to complete our Getting to Know Your Supervisor series because we have Jeff Brown with us today to be interviewed for the last of our 5 interviews. So welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. Now, what district is yours considered?
So I'm District 3. So I run from the outskirts of Pine Grove, which is Gala Manor, all the way up to Kirkwood.
Oh, wow.
And so I run from Shake Ridge Road out to the other side of McColmy.
Okay.
So that is my whole district, rolling up the section of the county.
That's awesome. Okay, so you definitely have upcountry.
I definitely have upcountry.
Yeah, there's been some because the lines are weird. The district lines are kind of weird.
And this last time during our redistricting, my district was actually kind of made whole a little bit more because I used to have, per se, I call it as a finger that went up along Shake Ridge Road that Supervisor Oneto had. And so when we redistrict, I kind of requested to push that finger down. So it's just, off the way we went.
No, that's super awesome. And so you tell us a little bit about you. Like, where did you come from? Where did you grow up? How did you get here to Amador County?
That's a multi-fingered question, I will say. So I grew up in Santa Clara. My parents, my father worked for Owens Corning Fiberglass in Santa Clara, and I grew up there, but they couldn't afford to do daycare. It was so hard. Yeah. So my grandparents, who had been retired, said, "Come on up." Wow. And so there's a little community of Loma Rica outside Marysville. And they had a 40-acre ranch. And on that 40-acre ranch, I grew up on a ranch in the summertime and all school vacations. And that was something I loved.
Oh, I
bet. So I've had the best of both worlds growing up.
Right.
In living in the city and growing up in the country. Once I graduated high school, I went into the Air Force, and as an enlisted, I stationed at Travis Air Force Base. I was an aircraft mechanic. I worked 141s, C5s, C-17, 135s. There's another aircraft in there somewhere, but
amazing.
I've touched a lot of aircraft, and it was heavy maintenance. It's the stuff you go, son of a gun, it broke hard. So that's was part of my job is heavy maintenance, is what we called aerial repair. And so I've taken landing gear out in the middle of nowhere. And
that's crazy. I didn't realize you were in the service. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's so awesome. And to be stationed close to home was kind of cool too.
And it was, and which is also I was virtually assigned to C5s. And with that, I could be stationed at Travis or Dover. And my first wife did not want to go overseas. So she asked for try to stay stateside, thinking we were going to move eventually. We never moved. 24 years of one base.
You're kidding.
It was, I had a home on base, which is actually a mobile home that we lived in for quite a few years, and loved that. It was actually on base. It was the weirdest thing for it was a privately owned home on a military installation.
That crazy?
So I loved that.
Yes.
We had our own place per se.
You had the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I knew my family was secure and everything good.
Absolutely.
I just had to make sure the lawn was mowed all the time.
I bet it had to stay very manicured.
Manicured.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, so, that's awesome. And you have kids?
I have one son.
Okay.
And he is, 34 years old.
Oh, right. And where is he?
He's in Sacramento.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's so nice. Very cool. And so how did you make your way to Amador County then?
Well, that's the other kind of the funny thing is that my father's first new vehicle was a 1973 Ford pickup truck. Oh. And so he wanted to go camping. So we put a 10.5-foot camper on there, and we joined a camper club as a family, and Plymouth.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
That's the 49er Village? Is that it?
49er Village.
Oh my gosh.
And so we've gone camping there since the early 70s.
Wow.
And that was someplace my father loved to do, is to come up to the 49er Village and go camping there. I remember those fruitless mulberry trees
Yes.
when they were small.
Oh, isn't that so crazy?
Now they're just humongous and the whole routine. But there was no shade, on the roadside spots. There was no shade on those spots, and I remember there was no shade on those.
Hilarious.
I also remember in behind Plymouth, there's the motorcycle park that was back there, and that was my first introduction to law enforcement. I proceeded to. My dad would always make me walk the bike. I had a little SL70 Honda, and I walk it back to the motorcycle park, and then we'll go riding back there. And then I thought, nobody will notice if I leave it in first gear and act like I'm walking in it. Nope. Amador Sheriff.
Oh,
woo!
You're cracking me up.
Son, are you supposed to be doing that? No, sir. Then you better be walking that instead of riding it. Yes, sir.
That's hilarious. I love it. Isn't that fun when those were the days on how things were taken care of? Right?
Yeah.
And they could trust that you were going to continue.
And I did. I walked it all the time. That was the hardest part about going back there now, it was just walking the motorcycle across the street. But that was back in the days.
Yeah.
I did. I was just a kid and just walked the motorcycle back to the area, and I loved riding back there. That was so much fun to ride back there.
That's awesome. I don't think I realized that there was a motorcycle park back there.
Yeah, it was the original. I can't remember the name of the Hangtown. It's what they because they used to have races back there.
Wow.
They had official races back in there. I never know what truly closed it.
Yeah.
But that was always the fun part of being back there. As a kid, that was so great.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, I don't remember that. I mean, I grew up in Amador County, but I mean, pretty much the 49er Village and the fair. That's pretty much what we went to Plymouth.
That's all,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. No, well, that's so awesome. And so now you currently do you live up country?
I do. I live in Mace Meadows.
Okay.
My parents, because they fell in love with it, they built a home in 1986 in Mace Meadows. They bought one of the lots when they were first out there.
Yeah.
And so they built their retirement home, and until they actually retired, we'd go up there for Christmases. We did all the holiday stuff. There was a couple winters that ain't getting to see ya. I don't have a 4-wheel drive, so we drop off presents, honestly, in front of the golf course, because that's as far as the county had plowed the road or I would say Caltrans probably at that time.
Oh my gosh.
Caltrans just had plowed it to right here. They'd borrow a neighbor's 4-wheel drive down. We'd exchange presents, hug, and we go back home.
Gosh.
So that was a couple Christmases that happened.
Yeah. Well, and they sneak up on you, those crazy winters up there. Yes. That's so funny. Well, how awesome. I love that and so you've lived up there since how long?
Since I retired out of the Air Force, so that was 2005.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 20 years?
20 years.
Yeah.
I found a job at McClellan with the Forest Service. So I was a retired crew chief commuting down to a retired Air Force base. And that was always fun.
Yeah.
I commuted that for 11 years.
Wow.
And then I had a individual was on my water board that says, "You need to run for supervisor." Are you nuts? Why would I want to do that?
So you'd never done anything political before?
No, I had never done anything political. I've the whole thing was that they said, "Well, you're so good at running this water board," and I've done that for 20 years.
Wow.
So that was one of the big things that I enjoyed. That the joke on that is, as chairman, I get to be the manager of the water system itself, because I just have some part-time employees, so I have to manage, what's being maintenance management, and like, you have maintenance background. Here you go. So nobody has tried to be the chairperson of First Mesa Meadow Water because there was this,
Right.
they're like, nobody else wants it. They'll sit there and move around positions.
That's hilarious, but nobody will have the chairperson because
Nope.
they don't have maintenance.
They have maintenance. So you have
Wow.
to sit there and understand our water system and try to run with it and be the
Wow.
maintenance manager.
That's awesome. And it's fun too because it is, I love the Mesa Meadows water. It's just a small little district, right?
is.
How many homes are
We have
attached to it?
500 customers.
Oh, yeah.
We have the per se north end of the golf course, and then we have Meadow Vista.
Oh, okay.
So we have just this little outcroft in Meadow
Got it.
Vista, and I kind of laughed as there's a redwood tank in the middle of the system, and I sit there and go, okay, we need to probably update this tank. And all the neighbors, because the tank is in the middle of the court,
Okay.
and all the neighbors go, no, we don't want to look at a metal tank. We want to look at our redwood tank.
Oh, that's so funny.
You leave it alone. Okay.
Until you can't, right?
That's it.
That's
But
so
the redwoods,
funny. Yeah.
it's actually a valuable material. It's kind of funny. The county did part of COVID money, gave a lot of the water agencies some funding, and we replaced one of our water tanks that's farther up on the hill of Mount Crossman, and I've had a couple people interested in buying the wood
Oh,
of
wow.
the thing. One of the companies that wants to buy it so they can fix other redwood water
Wow.
tanks. So it's
Oh.
still a valuable
Yeah.
commodity.
Well, that's awesome. And it's obviously lasted a long time.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
62.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
That's crazy.
when all that that part of that development was all put together. So
Right. Yeah.
um,
Wow.
so-
That's amazing. That's so awesome. Okay. So on the as a supervisor, what would you say is your favorite thing that you've seen accomplished or you've been able to accomplish since being?
it's Pioneer Park.
Oh, okay.
Pioneer Park, it was developed by families. It was in the 80s, and it was started by families. It was, just a whole bunch of families getting together to put it together, and then the county said, yeah, we can help with that. We can continue that. But it's gone into forgetting. People started forgetting about it. They gave it all to the county numerous years ago because a lot of the original families didn't want to be dealing with it anymore because
Yeah.
it's a lot of work to take care of the
Right.
park. So
Right.
the county's contracted with ACRA to keep the park up, but it still wasn't nobody was really controlling that. ACRA was doing the maintenance, but they weren't saying, hey, we need to do stuff.
Right.
Take
Right.
care of it
Yeah.
and work with it. And with the help of Rotary and some of the other service agencies, we've done a lot. They've got a dog park up there.
Oh, awesome.
This next spring, we're going to put out for an request for proposal to actually build pickleball courts up there.
Oh my gosh.
We've
how
got the
fun.
funding, we've got the design, we've got
Wow.
everything in the Veterans Hall, the windows. I have the designs that we want to put up
Wow.
out there.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Those
Yeah.
are so popular.
So that was, one of the big things people came to me when I first came is that look at the golf, I mean, not golf course, tennis court,
Park, yeah.
and it's got a huge crack in it. The only thing people are using it for is a dog run.
Oh.
They throw their dog, ball for their dog,
Yeah.
but they weren't playing tennis in there. And so that's where I tried to divide them, and I went to Rotary, and we talked about different things. So that's how the dog park got, separate. And now I'm getting that, but it's taken me 5 years, and it'll be almost 6 years to
Wow.
get this through the process, to find money.
Wow.
It's such a, thing to sit there and try to, where do you find that money?
Right.
Where, law enforcement, which I dearly love law enforcement, but they take up 62% of our general fund.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't a whole bunch of fund to sit there and put anywhere else.
Right.
The conspiracy theorists in the county says we're pulling road money away from roads. No, we're not.
Right.
We're doing stuff. In fact, this last budget cycle, we were able to put $1 million into our road fund.
Oh, awesome.
But our road people said, hey, we appreciate that, but we need some of our equipment replaced. You know, instead of putting on the road, we need some of our equipment replaced. So one of the things we replaced this year, or actually is two things. One is a service vehicle to take care of the other vehicles. The service vehicle, I remember 1988.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how old that service vehicle was to do this. And so to replace it into a modern aspect and everything it needs, you know, needed an air compressor, it needed a lift. So when you have a flat tire on a blade, you know, you can lift that up because, you know, the days of we had a whole bunch of people to go lift that tire and put it in the back of the truck are not there anymore.
Right.
You know, so
absolutely. You'd be stuck.
you have to be self-sufficient now, and one person can do the job with this newer vehicle.
That's so interesting.
So that's, but it costs money.
Right.
You know,
right.
for this whole conversion, it's like $120,000. Wow. You know.
Yeah.
We're doing Upper Ridge Road. They had their building. I want to say their get together with George Reed.
Got it.
And with Public Works, and hey, this is what we're going to do. So that should be happening at any time.
Oh, okay.
So, warning to everybody.
Good to know. Yeah.
Upper Ridge Road will be a pain in the butt for a while. I apologize.
Right.
I mean, we're already used to that with PG&E tearing up our roads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the churchgoers.
Yes.
The call church, you're going to want to leave early. Yes, well, that's so. Speaking of roads, we in anticipation of knowing that we were going to be interviewing you, we actually had viewers reach out to us with questions that they had, and one of the questions was in concern of the roads, that there's a lot of uneven pavement in a lot of areas of country, and how is that going to affect this winter with plowing? That was a big concern, that the plow can't go over uneven roads.
Well, I'm gonna use Upper Ridge Road as an example. I knew we were going to do this. We received this money from Senator Alvarado Gill specifically for Upper Ridge Road, so I couldn't take that money and go, okay, we'll move it over here because PG&E is going to do this.
Right.
So I had to do that. So the reason why there's still a trench in the middle of Upper Ridge Road is I didn't want to double work because PG&E was going to do an overlay.
Oh, okay.
And so they were going to do an overlay like they're doing everywhere else, and that would have done it. But that would have been a waste of money. You know, I didn't want the governmental money. I would have rather left it a little bit worse, but I was overridden.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people and under, you know, knowing that they said, hey, I don't want to live with the, you know, because there's a couple ruts in some of those trenches. And so then we decided to have PG&E just do the trench, just do is what they could. And the county actually received $60,000 from PG&E because that's the part that they didn't have to pay for. They still had to pay for the contractor. They still had a lot of money, but that was the money that they didn't have to use. And so they did give us that funding that was because they didn't do a complete overlay, which they had promised.
Oh, got
so
it.
we were able to accept that money and still put it back into the road fund and continue with that. I'm suspecting, but it's always hard to know what PG&E's done.
Yeah.
They are not a very open operation,
Yes. No.
which is understanding because they're also a huge corporation.
Right.
Left hand does always not know what right hand is doing.
Right.
One of my true examples of that is, of course, when I became supervisor, is when we started the power shutoffs. And one of the big things was, you know, PG&E had been sued numerous times, so they were very cautious at that.
Right.
So they're trying to do their best with what they had. And so I see a crew of PG&E trucks were out of power. What are you guys doing?
Right.
You know, because that is the funniest thing about being supervisor. Now you get to be the nosy busybody. What are you doing? You know. And so I have to tell everybody who I am. As soon as I tell who I am, that opens area up. They think a lot of times it's just Joe public. You know, they don't want to go there. But with me, they open up, and it's interesting, you know, how much they will open up. And their linemen are very frustrated because a lot of the linemen have been stripped a lot of things they could do.
Oh,
They used to have like a chainsaw in their own trucks because, they would do that.
Yeah.
Well, now, because now they have the contract with the wood people, they took the chainsaw out, and now they've got an emergency crew that's on standby. Well, where's that emergency crew? It could be coming out of Modesto.
Oh
I don't know.
gosh.
So they're sitting waiting to do stuff. Now,
To do stuff they could
do
themselves. Yeah.
and start, at least get something done. And then the other part of it was, this is at the beginning portion of the power shutoffs, was they have to walk the lines. They have to verify that line is clear, that line is, make sure everything's good. And the young gentleman I was talking about says, I don't have a problem walking that line. But the other 5 footprints walking the same line is what I have a problem with, because that means we're wasting time.
Right.
So,
and money. Yeah, hence our PG&E bills.
Yes. And so that's, the things that I've been working on. One of the other things that I've really tried working on is getting logs off of people's properties.
Oh, right.
In 2022, we did I opened up the lower baseball field at Pioneer Park, and I told everybody, bring your storm waste in, because I got permission from FEMA that they would fund 80% of that. Whatever I put out there, they would fund. And so we were doing that. And I thought, okay, well, people will put out things and everything else. We filled up the baseball field in 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
So
they needed a place for that stuff to go.
Right. And we're government, and we're not fast.
Yeah.
And I will say that right off the bat. So I asked our facilities, I said, bring me a tractor. Bring me up a tractor and maintenance. I've run equipment.
Right.
I showed the guys that I could operate it and safely. I had to sign a volunteer waiver and everything else for the county. Even though I'm employed by the county,
hilarious.
I still had to do the volunteer. And I proceeded to push everything, because I've worked on orchards before in my life. I knew how to, buck brush and, and put all that in there. So I got it all pushed back into there. And then I had people ask, well, I have trees that fell over and I have the roots. I can't get rid of the roots anyway. Bring them over.
Right.
You can get it over here. You can get it offloaded off the way you go. We can do that. Well, I had one gentleman that brought in, it had to be at least 5 foot piece of wood. And the trailer was so heavy and it was still wet. The tree had fallen over and it was huge. He had actually flattened the tires on his tractor.
Oh my gosh.
Getting it on the trailer. And so I helped him with the county tractors. That was the one thing I didn't want to get too involved with, was using a county piece of equipment to offload, people's stuff, because I don't want to break something.
Right.
So I did that. So the third day I'm doing this, I'm bucking brush, and somebody had given me just a long piece of wood. And I'm bucking the brush, I'm lifting and pushing, lifting and pushing, lifting and pushing. And the piece of wood comes straight out and it comes to right here.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, that's not fun.
Oh my gosh.
And so I backed back out, and I told my wife about that. Every time she continued, she says, I'm now your safety person. In case you get into trouble, I'm going to be watching you, because there's nobody else out there at 6 o'clock in the morning, because I can't do it any other time, because I have to get out there, because sure as 8 o'clock rolls around, the people start coming in to dump off the wood. So
that's crazy.
That was so much fun.
That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah. And then, and little did you know what was going to happen in 2023 with the storms, right? Thank God you let them clear their properties before that.
We had, I can't remember the actual weight, but I want to say it was almost 80 tons that we took out of there.
Oh
it was,
my gosh.
Southwick and Son was our transporter.
Oh, okay.
We had a orchard grinder come in. I'd love to show you a video of that.
Oh yeah.
But it was funny, is the stumps I was telling you about, they still had dirt and rocks on there. Well, he doesn't want to run that through his machine. So he grabs it And just like a little kid throws it up in the air and watches it fall back down, grabs it again, throws it up in the air.
That's hilarious.
So
That'll do it.
yeah, so he did that numerous times. And the other thing I got the biggest kick out of this operation, it was one gentleman. It was the guy in the excavator. He's running it, and on his lap, he could move the stump grinding equipment.
Wow.
It was huge, and it was on tracks. And so he just moved the stump grinder around to wherever he needed to go.
Oh my gosh.
And so he's just picking up stuff and throwing it. Oh, it was so neat to watch him.
I bet.
We cleared that, but unfortunately, it took till June, July to get that done, and a lot of the neighbors were upset. They were thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a huge fire thing."
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to them, the ground underneath was still wet.
Oh,
Was
right.
still absolutely muddy and wet. So that
It had
excavator,
seen no sun.
yeah. And so that was interesting because
Mm.
that was probably, I think we were about 9 foot. Once I got it bucked up enough.
Wow. That's really awesome. I didn't realize that you did that. That's super awesome. I love that. And now any development happening in Pioneer? Anything that you know that's up and coming? Any building or any?
Well, of course,
plans?
there's our pickleball.
Yeah.
Mace Meadow Golf Course is getting their cell tower. T-Mobile and AT&T are going in there,
wow.
so that will be awesome. One of the biggest things we had is, do you know where the old D&M heating used to be? And now there's it's right across the street from the PG&E or the old tomato factory, if you will call it, or the cedar mill, whichever vintage
I remember the cedar mill. Yeah.
I do too.
With the pencils.
The pencils, and I remember the teepee where they used to burn everything. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. So right across the street is up that hillside. There's a Verizon cell tower.
Oh, okay.
And then the third one, we're at Molly Joyce. We're putting a cell tower in at Molly Joyce, which will be a great thing because Molly Joyce is not owned by the county.
Oh.
That is completely owned by ACRA.
Oh, okay.
And so they have the title on it. So the county doesn't chip in any money into Molly Joyce. So the biggest help for Molly Joyce, of course, is the Little League.
Yeah,
the Little
for sure.
League pays for their using that field and for the upkeep. And then the cell tower will help fund ACRA.
Oh.
Because it'll be about $1,200 a month.
That's great.
That
I
they'll
love
oversee.
that. Oh, that's so awesome. And now, speaking of Mace Meadows,
Uh-huh.
the next question was, what's going on with Mace Meadows? What can we expect? Because it sold, was it a year ago that it sold?
It's almost 2 years ago now.
Wow.
I can't give you 100% honest question. I've left my card with a gentleman.
Okay.
I've tried calling and left my phone message. He hasn't wanted, I don't know if he just doesn't want to talk to a politician or whatever. For the longest time, I mean, of course, when it officially closed, because of my Mace Meadow water, they weren't paying their water bill.
Oh.
And so it backed up, and it backed up to almost $9,000
Wow.
that my people were having to, take care of.
Wow.
Well, finally, when it sold, they paid that out through the title. And then it's been up and down for him paying, keeping the current payments going. But he has paid the last time, so he kept that up. But as far as officially knowing what's going on, I don't know. If I hear the same rumors you hear.
Yeah.
And then the only thing else I do know is on the title of the property, anything that's built on there has to be golf related.
Oh, it does. Okay, I was curious because I had heard that he was going to do something, but it wasn't going to be for golf. So that's good to know.
So it's on the title. So there would have to be some serious communication to do what's going on. Now he bought the golf course and he also bought the frontage property up front. So he has both of those.
Yeah, so that is interesting. We're hoping to see something happen there soon.
Everybody's wanted everything from a third park, a walking park. The biggest thing that a lot of the neighbors want is the grass to be mowed.
Right.
That's
just manicured. Yeah.
Yeah, just mow it.
Yes. Literally,
We don't have to
yeah.
have golf balls hitting our houses anymore. We don't have to
Yeah,
have,
yeah, just
but
keep it
just
looking
mow
well.
it, for
Yes.
fire danger. And that's
Yeah.
their biggest scare.
Very true. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so in closing, if you had a magic wand and you could make anything upcountry happen overnight, what would it be?
Oh, ultimately, the magic wand is roads.
Yeah.
You know, right now the county is doing what it can for thoroughfare roads. Anything that is a major thing, which
Mm.
Ridge Road is.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are upset that Shenandoah Valley was done, but that's a major road
Oh, it
for
is.
people coming out of the
Yeah.
backside of there. And then, so we're trying to do those thoroughfare roads. We have a couple. We are doing some stuff in Comanche. We're doing some stuff. We've done some work in the upcountry, but we only can do so much for what funding we have.
That's right.
We can't. My best example is I have meetings, which is District 3 Community Council, second month. Got to do my own thing here. The second
Yeah.
Monday of every month at the Veterans Hall.
Oh,
at
and anybody can come to that?
Anybody can come to that.
Oh, okay.
It's at 6 o'clock. But the thing is that, of course, I have it in the wintertime. I have it in January, February, March, and everything else. A couple times I've had to cancel it, but I have the county clear it, the
Yeah.
parking lot, so they can do that. I can't use road money to clear that park.
Oh, wow.
I have to find alternate funding,
Wow.
which we have a little bit of alternate funding
Yeah.
set up for the road department just to clear that parking
Wow,
lot.
that's so
That is
interesting.
the ultimate thing. I can't use road money for a
True.
parking lot. There's a handicap section in the back of the Veterans Hall that so desperately needs. It is actually, to me, the worst section of the county
Mm.
because it's just breaking away.
Mm.
The driveway is just gone. I can't use road money for that because
Right.
it is a parking lot or a driveway, not a road.
Yeah. So what so should we expect like the main thoroughfares where the plows go to be done before winter? Is that something that's on the plan?
Well, it takes us 2 years to get
Mm.
any
Mm.
project through, because we have to go out for design. We
Right.
don't have a lot of in-house capability in that aspect, so we have to go out for the design. We are such a litigious society nowadays. We have to make sure A, B, C,
Yeah.
D, E, F, G is all
Mhm.
on there. A lot of other counties have that in-house. We don't have that
Oh,
in-house.
got it.
So we have to go out for a request for proposal for design. Then we have to go out for request for proposal for quote on the project. So this all takes time. Then if somebody questions it, oh, you weren't fair on something. So that extends it out. That's the reason.
Right.
The reason why the jail project is higher priority than Pioneer Park. It's the
Right.
same people that do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
We could have done it earlier, but the jail project is such a higher priority
Right.
to get done. It pushed my pickleball court
Right.
design and
Pushes it
but
back.
it's the button is almost ready to push.
Oh, that's so exciting.
The money is there. It can't be
That's
taken.
awesome.
It's there, ready to go.
If you had to guess, when would you say that we could see that being started, or even
It's supposed to go out for request for bid February or March, and so I'm hoping maybe 60 days after that.
Oh, that's awesome. So by summer, hopefully next
Yep.
summer, that
We'll
would be
be
awesome.
having pickleball tournaments and everything else up there because
I love that.
it'll be 4 courts of pickleball with a tennis court right beside it.
How fun. Well, we cannot wait. And
Thank
so
you.
we just are so grateful that you had the opportunity and that you were willing to come
Oh, my
and
pleasure.
meet with us. Is there anything that you want to leave the viewers with? Any final parting words?
Oh, I'm proud to be a county supervisor. It's one of those, it's kind of a thankless job, but every once in a while there is that thank you. And it makes,
Yes.
I do have to do a story, and it's a little weird story, and I'll have to go to this. COVID, we
Yeah.
went through all that. I'm very proud the way the county handled that, this unknown situation. There was stuff we couldn't change. But I had this, I want to say, young lady at 92 calls me up and says, I need to get that shot, the COVID shot. This is the very first part of it. And we're only letting people over 70 or whatever get that shot. She says, I have no computer. I don't know how to run a computer. I don't know how to do this stuff. And so what can I do? And I said, I have my computer sitting in front of me. I've been authorized to do this, but I have to do it step by step. And this was the first time I did it too.
Oh, okay.
So I'm running down the list and I'm getting her appointment and I'm doing everything. But I had to ask her questions. And they're very personal questions.
Right.
And so one of the questions is, are you pregnant at 92? I had to ask her that 5 times to officially do that.
You're cracking me up.
Oh, it was hilarious. And she loved it. She had fun with
yes,
it.
yes.
She had fun with it. But,
That's hilarious.
And but she got her appointment. She got her
so
shot.
Awesome.
And she thanked me so much for that. So that's the small things that you can do for somebody.
That's right. That's the fun, I think, of being in a small community where you can be personal. You're not just a name. You actually are in the community and can help. Yeah.
I laugh is that I bring my own personal tractor. I've got an acre of property. Do I need a tractor? No. But it sure is helpful. Well,
yes.
I mainly use it for snow. That's the reason I bought it for, because I had an old farm tractor that it died. It was a 52 and I brought up. And so it died and I go to my wife, can I get a tractor? I need a tractor for snow unless you want a shovel.
Right.
We got a tractor.
Yes.
But I use that over in Pioneer Park so often. I probably have 40, 50 hours at Pioneer Park with my own person.
Awesome.
So that's,
Yeah, that's so awesome. And that you have the skills, thank God.
Yes. I haven't broken anything. No, I can't say when I did the thing, I broke the tractor 3 times. I flattened the tire. I bent the grill. And there was something else I did, but John Hopkins was always make sure that he made fun of me for damaging his tractor.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome. And we just appreciate your service so much. We know that it is a thankless job. I was on the school board. I get what you're talking about.
I think you had it worse though.
Well, I did. I agree. I think I did too. Yes, but I loved it. Yes. I loved doing it because you knew that you were actually making a difference.
You're trying as best as you can with whatever it is. So.
It is. That's right. Well, thank you again so much. We are going to be promoting all of this out so much, especially now that we have all 5 of them. And Jeff, it was such a pleasure. If you think of any highlights or you think, hey, I have something that I want to share, let us know and we'll do another interview.
Okay. Sounds good.
So thank you very much, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official stance of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services or Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Divine Properties or any affiliated entities. This podcast does not constitute legal, financial, or real estate advice, and listeners are encouraged to consult with qualified professionals regarding their specific needs. While we strive to provide accurate information, we make no guarantees regarding the completeness or reliability of any information discussed. We are not responsible for any actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. Additionally, topics covered in the podcast are based on the host experience and opinions and may not apply to all situations. Listeners are reminded that real estate laws and regulations may vary by location, and information may become outdated over time. By listening to this podcast, you agree to release the host, guests, and any associated entities from any liability related to the topics discussed.